payment. Till now, we have discussed in our videos and your earlier sessions that ISO 20022 do the settlement by the individual country specific, like Fedwire in US and European target 2, EBA 1, EBA 2, step 1, step 2, and there are different settlement system individually are in different countries like RBI does in India. Okay. So similarly, the cross-border payment has some mystery around it. Okay, how it is done. We are very much aware that this is RTGS, real-time gross settlement is target 2, or RTNS, real-time net settlement. These are kind of a settlement system already exist in the world. Automatic clearing house is also there. But let's see something about CBPR mystery of settlement. Okay, we'll start this. I think this today's session is around session number 197, something like that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so one of the crucial aspect of settlement, definitely we know, right? After reconciliation, after clearing, only settlement works, means actual transfer of the money. Usually settlement explain the contents of net or gross settlement, and it is placed as the next step of the process, netting and clearing. Correct? I just now explain after netting and clearing the settlement is done. And in clearing, what how much amount has to be calculated, that has to be mentioned. The debit of and credit of nostro and vostro is happen, and then finally how much amount has to be sent, that is done by settlement only, right? This is the beauty of the settlement here, right? Okay, the first of all, the key understanding the settlement or payment is not related to the customer perspective. So we cannot say that settlement is achieved when the creditor receives the fund. It's rather determine the payment status from an interbank perspective. Very much right. Account is credit of the creditor, but the books are clear. Minus and plus books should be clear at the both side. Then only settlement has been done, right? This is the clear from the bank side. Okay. The settlement marks the completion of the transaction between banks. That is correct. Between two banks, this is data. If you are debiting, the minus is there, crediting plus is there. So settlement is done on the basis of transaction between banks. In other words, the interbank settlement means that aim of the payment is achieved and the obligation between bank is discharged. Okay, the responsibility bank is done and achievement is done. If you are not familiar with the term, you can simply understand it is the movement of payment between bank is done, right? Between bank A means settlement is done when payment has been sent from bank A to bank B, or in a real time you will say minus and plus. Debit account is debited, credit account is credited. Okay, that's a settlement. Focusing on the interbank relation, because the CBPR rules regulate precisely the bank to bank space with the customer to bank space being out of scope of CBPR. Okay, that's out of scope. Okay, now the real part is that who is responsible for doing the settlement process. So when we are talking about Swift, right, it is mainly responsible for the communication layer. However, Swift is not a payment system. It does not create hold any accounts or bank performance booking. Already we have learned till date that Swift is only a messaging system. It does not do clearing or settlement. It only sends the messages, and the country specific has to be done the settlement and clearing. Swift convey the messages from one party to another party. We can guess that the movement of settlement is not related to the payment message itself. In other words, settlement cannot be defined as a movement when a payment message from one bank to other bank, right? Only when we sending a message from bank to bank, it's not a settlement. Its meaning is simple is that settlement is done on the accounts, right? The two accounts which you are doing the settlement means the credit account and debit account. When the payment message is exchanged between two banks, the settlement is done by the booking on the accounts, and this information help to finally identify the institution responsible for the settlement, means who is going to settlement. So if you are what can I say, if you are learning ISO 20022, there are different methods of settlements in the instructing agent. Third one is cover by the cover, and fourth one is clearing. Clearing is not there in CBPR, but there three methods are there. Means instructing agent, who is doing the instructing the account, instructing agent, and cover payment. So three are the settlement methods are there in ISO 20022. So who perform the settlement? If the settlement is done by the account, it is performed by the bank. Okay, that's very much good understanding here. Market. If the settlement is done on the accounts, means bank accounts. It is performed by the bank. It may be done between the two commercial bank as a result of payment message exchange between them, or it may be done on the books of the central bank. Means who is doing the central bank clearing? Like RBI in India, for example, or Fedwire, central bank, for example, an RTGS system operated by central bank. Okay, it is the commercial bank who is doing the exchange of settlement. So this is a very broad perspective, very high level diagram of how the cross border payment end to end clearing and settlement has been done. So I hope this diagram is very clear to you, this flow chart. We are going to explain this flow chart now, and also we are going to study in detail how this settlement and clearing happen, right? On the first, if you we have to start from the left hand side. I don't have a cursor here, I can show you that. Okay, we have to start. Okay, this one is cursor is there. We have to start from the first, which is customer initiation. Means a payment has been initiated by the front end channels, and normally now we are learning ISO 222 message only. So we have to say that pin 001 message has been created, right? It has IBAN, account number, amount, and currency. Okay, front end channels like mobile, internet banking, or BACS payment, or you can say bulk payment, and ERP applications. Are these are the application who was the customer initiating a payment. So who initiate the payment? Customer initiate payment in PAN 001 messages of ISO 20022. Then this message original bank processing. Okay, so bank has been processing the message and it will check the compatibility of the message. It check the anti money laundering, KYC, sanctions, account is debit or credit, or means the fraud check, the FX, the pricing, liquidity check, amount is there, duplicate of payment is there or no. So lots of things bank will take care, or either nowadays there is called payment engine. Okay, like banks or FlexCube or GPP. Those are the processing engine, or can say clearing system, or can say banks who do all these checks. So KYC, anti money laundering, sanction, these are second number. Then the third part is messaging system. Now after this is done, actual message has to be transferred, right? So the PAN 001 message is converted into PAX message, means payments and clearing message. It is happening now in the third stage. Sends this PAX 8 intermediary banks via Swift network, and while sending this message, a acknowledgement message also be sent, which is PAX 002. Okay, we have studied, right? PAX 002 is a acknowledge message. It will send either ACK or NAC, acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement, NAC. Okay, means payment has been accepted or rejected. So there are many codes are there if payment is getting rejected. If it is accepted, there are also codes are there, ACCP or something like that. Okay, so that's the third stage of this system. Now next pass in the clearing system is the fourth, clearing, decision, routing, and most important layer. Clearing, decision, routing, most important layer. Now see here, when we are sending a payment, it's not necessary that two banks have a relation with each other. So it may be you don't have relation, then we are going to involve one more system here, which is called corresponding banking system, right? So corresponding banking means a new two banks are involved here who has relation with this debtor and creditor here. So the next concept is corresponding relay section, Nostro and Vostro lookup. Okay, if you do the lookup of the payment, because if you have the lookups, then debit and credit happen in a liquid. Then liquidity verification inside the band, currency conversion. Okay, settlement rail selection. So normally it's like outgoing example, like debit the Nostro and credit the Fedwire account. Okay, this is the below example mentioned outcome example. So this normally happen in a clearing, decision, routing pair. The next one is beneficiary bank. So after done this, beneficiary bank will receive your payment. It will do validation check, account status, credit beneficiary account, and as usual, we are going to send text to messages, which is as acceptance or reject a message. And finally, at number 6, we are doing the settlement of execution. Funds move to the chose settlement account rail, and it can finally settle. And at the end, we are going to send the notification part, which is CAMT 54, 53, depending on which statement you want, credit debit statement or like anything. Okay, so that end-to-end reconciliation has been done at the end now after this sending a notification. Okay, so this is either depend on CAMT 50 to 53. That's a very level high diagram, you can say at done. If you go some level below, right, technical message flow, how exactly happen here, this also explained very nicely here. Before I want to go to there, on the right hand side if you see some mention clearing decision factor, what clearing evaluates. Okay, so here some clearing systems are mentioned like corresponding preference, liquidity available, compliance screening, currency corridor, settlement rail selection, cost and time optimization, cutoff time. So these are going to help for your clearing and decision factor making, right? What this thing, right? Now, if you go to the first find pair, okay, who is your pair here? This example is given one example. The pair is created, pen 001 message, it is routed to a HDFC Bank network. For example, originator HDFC Bank. The customer belong to the HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank is approach here. He convert this message into the pack set message. Okay, so you can say FI credit transfer pack set message in USD. There is an intermediary bank or corresponding bank. He is JP Morgan. So JP Morgan receive the payment. Okay, meanwhile at every stage we are sending a PAX2 message at the bank. If you see below message is PAX2, which is either accept or reset the payment based on that whether it is having a correct data or not. Then from the JP Morgan corresponding intermediary bank system via the Swift network, now your payment sent to the intermediary bank standards, which is maybe Fedwire here because it's it's a euro, right? Then it goes to the target 2. Okay, the target 2 system here. So target 2 is done, clearing and settlement has been done here. And again from the it is sent the packset message FI to FI packset message here. So that will receive the beneficiary bank Barclays here, and every time we are sending a pax to message to the below. Okay, and finally payment has been received by beneficiary bank, and finally to the pay directly it notified to player that by KMT 54 or 53 your payment has been received, right? So this is a end-to-end pro diagram, end-to-end showing that how CBPR payment moves. Okay, there are many use cases can be derived from this, which is not mentioned on this particular diagram, but there are many use cases like cancellation of payment, recall of the payment, then cancellation acknowledgement. Okay, there are many other use cases also there. That is, I have those use cases are already there in my other videos. Okay. Okay, by the way guys, this is I'm new video I'm creating for the month of July. Okay, but already I have created around 100 plus videos on CBPR, HVPS, high value payments, okay, routing and everything. I was starting this. My course is available on my share drive as well, on YouTube as well as some parts of it. This is designed in such a way that anybody can learn from the basic, right, from ABCD like that. So like the like summary and says like that, everybody has to learn these things and deeply. Okay, so this is the same way we have designed this course. If you want to take it, the number is flashing on the screen or in the below chat box. You can just ping me. I will try to give the access with some, yeah, some you have to provide me. Okay. So if so see below, right, there are some messages mentioned with key message, pain messages, pax messages for CAMT 53 54 like that, typically corresponding settlement system USD to UR. So which system is doing the settlement he typically mentioned here. If you see the below one, normally currency conversion happen USD to euro, USD to GBP, euro to INR, USD to SGD, euro to AD. So these are, so the banks involved in JP Morgan, Bank of America, Standard Chartered, Citibank, Deutsche Bank, these are there. Okay, so these are the USD and Nostro debited and settlement rail. So for example, Fedwire is doing USD, it is a for the settlement in USA USD. Chips also there, target 2 is there for European countries. Okay, and then chips in USD target to UAE. So these are some of the settlement example of here, right? So key takeaways, what can I say, that this is lots of complex flows are involved in that very high level. I just now said that. Okay, this is the same thing mentioned here as well, which I explained just now. Cross-border payment transfer, we are using IBAN account, currency account, we're transferring account. Okay, KYC check, AML check, fraud check, liquidity check happen, then bank transfer this to pack set message or MT103 will do that. Okay, and then clearing receipt upon which corresponding bank system has been used. Then beneficiary bank receive the payment, validate the payment, settlement execution. We already discussed this part till date. Okay, already discussed. I explain you something. Yeah, the last part of it, that if you want to take a training from me, okay, this training details are mentioned here. Just take it from here. Otherwise, you can just text me as well here. Okay, that's a schedule for this training. So thank you very much. See you again.